Hello folks, welcome to G for G here on YouTube. Today we're taking a look at a mobile game called Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Brave Exvius, or Final Fantasy BE, is a multi-platform game that is available on both Android and iOS. Once you sync it up to a Facebook account, you will be able to do cloud sharing with it. Cloud sharing not only enables cross-platform, but multiple devices on the same platform. So you can run this on an Android phone and an Android tablet and an iOS tablet and get access to your account no matter what. That's pretty cool. Kudos to Square for doing this. I like it when a company does that and has cross-platforming. And unlike Record Keeper, you don't have to do crazy restores and codes and everything. You just sign in with Facebook, and when you go to a tablet or a phone that you've never installed a program on before and you install this and you say, okay, here's my Facebook credentials, bang, there's all your stuff. Unlike a lot of other mobile games, you don't even have to sit there and wade through a 10-minute tutorial just to get control of the game, so that you can go ahead and say, I already have data. Would you just give me the sign in and then I'll be good? Yeah, so kudos to Square for that. So, as you can see here, I apologize, it's a bit of a small screen. This uses the phone orientation or the vertical orientation. So it has changed my Nox into being vertical instead of horizontal. And that's where playing this game on a big tablet's going to be a bit of an issue. If you try to play this on a 10-inch tablet or tablets with keyboards like the Transformer series, not recommended. If you try to play this on a phone or a iPad mini kind of form factor or a Nexus 7, a Shield tablet, the 8s that are a little bit longer than they are tall, then yeah, this is the game for you. Who's going to like this game? Well, I'm going to get it right out of the way and tell you without mystery, any of the fans of the Final Fantasy series of games, multiple Final Fantasy series players are going to like this. Also, Brave Frontier players are going to like this, even if they've never heard of Final Fantasy. Why? Because it is Brave Frontier. I mean, let's be honest, it is Brave Frontier with a Final Fantasy skin draped over it. It is Brave Frontier ice cream with Final Fantasy chocolate syrup on it. That's what this is. So, it plays out pretty much the same. However, you're gonna get a lot of heavy-duty Final Fantasy flair in it, including exploration and questing. So let me show you what I mean over here. If I click on the world of Warcraft, no, just kidding, and I go to the town, I can walk around the town, and there are people in the town that have quests for me. In this town, I found a quest to go get a book in the Earth Shrine that I had already cleared. I got a quest to do a notebook, find a notebook in town, so I bounced around the town a little bit. You have these typical exploration things, like getting into people's houses and opening chests. And they're like, okay, just open my grandmother's hope chest. My poor grand died a few years ago, and this is where we keep her belongings. Just, you know, open the chest and take them. Actually, there was a straight up path over here. Where does this go? So I can't say that I have seen hidden clicks like, you know, typical of the Final Fantasy series. Click on a bookshelf and maybe there's a potion on it. But I can tell you that there is, even in the first town, already hidden walls. And I will show you an example of that. So we're going to come up here to the Chocobo Stables. Oh. Yeah, prime example. Go up here, go around this dude. Don't talk to him. I'm doing this in Nox with the mouse. See, blah, blah, blah. We are off the map, and there was that chest. So, if you are a Final Fantasy veteran and a Chrono Trigger veteran, the 8-bit and 16-bit era Final Fantasy games, this is going to be old hat. Now look at this. Ba-ba. Off the map again, and then there was a chest down here. So this was highly present in, you know, all of those glory days of the NES and the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy games, and just the secret walls and off the map exploration, everything like that. So if that's your background, you're immediately going to be well suited for this, and that's where I think a Final Fantasy player is going to have a little bit of an advantage over a Brave Frontier player that just wants to play another similar game. Maybe they're just bored with Brave Frontier now and just kind of want to move on to other things. Be aware, it really helps to have some Final Fantasy veteran status. So, you can go back and do areas that you've cleared already. So you can see here, everything is cleared. But I did have to go back and find a book in there. I could go over here and do this. And you are presented with this screen. And as you can see here, we have Final Fantasy characters. So there's X-Death. Pretty sure that's Cyan. Yep, that's Cyan. I've teamed up with Cloud of Darkness before. There's an Edgar. Now you can see a lot of rain. This is because people often do not change their main character, which is Rain. There's Cloud of Darkness. There's Garland. I highly suggest that one of the first things you do is change your leader. So my leader is Magitech Terra. This stands out a little bit, rather than just being rain. Yeah, do that. You really want to get your leader to be somebody who isn't rain, so it stands out for team-up purposes. Now, this has a very kind of secretive mana look to it, which, by the way, Square has gone ahead and released secretive mana on the mobile platforms. And, yeah, there we go again. There's a prime example of just ignoring the map and doing what you think is a cut-through. So, when you're in battle, you have choices. Slam the hell out of a mob and hope to get chains and overkills, or mitigate your DPS around the field a little bit. So, I'm going to click on this Hornet, and 2 attacks kill him. So, that allows me to spread the remaining 4 attacks onto this goblin. So I'm not wasting damage. However, if you overkill things or chain together, you tend to get slightly better rewards and everything. This is so hard. Appears to be locked. Well, screw you. Maybe I want to just bash it open. When you are overkilling, you tend to get more rewards and material and whatever the red crystals are and whatnot. But then you are essentially beating a dead horse. Is there anything? Nope. You're beating a dead horse. You know the mob is already dead. The only thing you're doing is overkilling something that is dead. So, it's, you know, it's up to you what you want to do. Like, go for the chains, go for the slightly extra rewards, or only do enough damage to kill the mob and then spread your DPS out evenly. So, here's going to be a big overkill. You can see chains, overkill, lots of these red crystals, but now these 2 remaining mobs get a chance to hurt me, where if I had spread out the DPS a little bit, I might have been able to kill 2 of them in round 1. Less attacks to suffer and everything, so. Now, when you're going through the plot of the game, and you're just clicking through to the areas that the game wants you to, and you're just following how the story is pushing you, you don't get to do this exploration. Hey, it's my Crochoos from 13 and 13-2. You just get the fights and have to go through them just like Brave Frontier. You know, you may have wave, boss, done. Here, when you go back and do places that you visited or, you know, go for a quest, you wind up being able to actually explore just like a Final Fantasy game. So it's a really nice mix of Final Fantasy and Brave Frontier styles. So now there's a big overkill, but actually it spread. It spread some of the DPS around. So now if we go to the menu, we can look at my units over here. I have my Leader of Magitech Armor, Terra. If I was at the home menu, I would be able to do forging of weapons and abilities, but you have to get a blueprint for it. Like I have a blueprint to forge Blizzard and Cure. Now the first two guys that you get do come with a little bit of equipment, but not a whole lot. And then other people that you get don't come with anything. The game definitely does respond to using the back arrow, so if you're on Android, you can just back arrow your way out of things if you wanted to. I think maybe I can't equip when I'm out in the field, which kind of sucks. And you see these little gold spots? That is all about the materials used to craft things. And now I wonder if I can get out of here. Oh, I might not know about that area down here. Ah, I see the exit. The exit is that red. And I think you even have the ability to turn on auto battle. And as you can see, the mobs are a mix of the Final Fantasy games. The Nutkins, if I remember correctly, are from Final Fantasy VI, relatively early in the game. Oh, let's get the map back. So navigating with this on a touchscreen is a little bit easier than this. When you're in combat, you have limit breaks and you have abilities. If you swipe to the right on any one of your characters, you can use their limit breaks and any abilities they have access to. What it does is it queues it up. This way you can use it in a chain with other members of the party. If you were to just use the limit break the moment you clicked on it, you can never have it as part of a chain. So it basically queues it up and then, recipe for a feathered cap. Let's see. That's definitely a legit dead end. As you can see, you know, we're dealing with random battles, staple of the Final Fantasy series. And that's a dead end. And I think it's also going to be locked, but I bet you I can get to it from... so yeah. I ran into this when I did the Urshrine thing. This is kind of like a map boss over here. Hey, it's a giant Ochu. Wow, that's definitely 13-2. So for this one, we don't want to spend a lot of extra DPS on the micros. That's a shame. Because we want to try to kill as many as we can. 2 of them. And now we can dump things on the big Ochu over here. because this is the last thing that we have to do in this map, what I'm going to be doing is now breaking out some of the limit breaks. And we can go ahead and see how that's queued up over here. Healing Waltz. So Pinello has a heal, which is pretty cool. And unfortunately, you cannot use limit breaks from non-friends when they guest, but you can use their abilities. So it really helps to build up a good friend list in the game over here. Because then you get full access to everything that character can bring. Now, not everything in the game is always going to be a human or a boss from the Final Fantasy games and whatnot. Some of them will actually be creatures. But I do believe the creatures are really designed to be fodder for ramping up your characters. So basically, yeah, you always want to continue so that you could get, like, okay, one last random battle. You always want to go ahead and continue so that you can get, like, whatever chest or stuff is afterwards. Should be able to get in. Oh, well, that's going to be locked anyway, so we're going to leave. Yes, and we're done. As you can see, people level up. There's the materials that I got, which is a bucket ton. Wow, this is the most materials I've ever seen. Not too sure what a trust bonus is there. And you can send friend requests. And that was part of the daily to do 2 explorations. And now we're going to go ahead and go to the home menu. We have this nice soothing music. So here in the forge, if you have recipes, you can create stuff. Like I can create another bronze knife. I can craft abilities that I have found, like Cure and Blizzard. And then the other one allows you to do like pots and Phoenix Downs and everything. Your items down here show you your loadouts that you can bring into the field with you. Your summons use either the higher power currency, which is Lapis, or tickets. The weaker currency is the friend bonus over here. Now, I have on the friend bonus summoned 1 legitimate mob and then 2 turtles, 2 gold turtles that were only used to level up other people or could be sold. Mini Metal Cactar. So it is an XP unit. So you'll notice that if I go to units and I go to swap, he's not available. But if I go to units, like let's say Laswell over here, and I go to enhance, and I go here, and I pick the Cactuar, we have Fuse. So this is where the Brave Frontier mechanics come in. This is definitely Brave Frontier-esque, and this is where the BF players are going to be quite familiar with this stuff. So that one was actually really big. this overtook my Magitech Terra. Oh, okay. And I should be able to equip things now properly. So if I go to Pinello, go to equip, I might be able to... There's a feathered hat that I found. And there's that cotton robe. So there you go, guys. There is a look at Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Pretty cool game. Available on both the Apple App Store and the Android Google Play. Does support cloud syncing. As a matter of fact, it does it by default. Doesn't make you go through the tutorial just to sync and everything like that, which is pretty cool. And it is a lot of fun. Quite enjoyable game for Final Fantasy fans and Brave Frontier fans, especially if you are both. So if you got any comments, leave them down below. Any thoughts, any friend codes you want to give out, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Let's get the discussion going. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.